Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Co-Creation Station, the podcast where we talk about spiritual magic, the law of attraction, and how to best enjoy the journey we call life. My name is Collin. I am a spiritual life coach, oracle tarot card reader, and medium.
Woo, woo. And my name is Stephanie, and I help people shift away from negative thinking, and it transforms their lives.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode if you're listening to the audio version, and also thank you so much for watching it if you are watching it on YouTube. If you enjoy our show and feel called to do so, please like us and subscribe to us. We would greatly appreciate your support. Each week here on Co-Creation Station, we discuss a different topic, and this week we are going to discuss scripting. Which is something I did not know about until very recently. I would say a year ago.
Last year,
yeah. And I sort of introduced you to it. Had you heard of it before?
Well, I heard Abraham Hicks has scripting in several of their books.
Okay.
And so I don't know if that's where he got it from. Probably for some other teachers, who knows? But then you bought me the book, which is. You want to share the book?
You know, what would have been great is if I had gotten the book off my bookshelf before the podcast. I'm going to break, hopefully this won't slow down the Zoom here, but I will look it up on the internet because I just want to get the title right.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a disservice to the author.
So Collin found this book last year and loved it, and then gifted one to me. It was so sweet. I got it in Amazon, and it came as a gift, all wrapped and pretty. My little girl was so happy. I have a gift.
I keep coming up because I know the author's first name is Rory, and I think
okay, I'm gonna go grab it off of my bookshelf.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Live video, gotta love it. Yeah, sorry everybody. Anyway, but this book is really incredible. The author has done a ton of research on his own, done a ton of reading about all manner and aspects of the law of attraction. He read something like 120 books. Scripting the Life You Want, Manifest Your Dreams with Just Pen and Paper by Royce Christyn. It's Royce, not Rory. That's why it wasn't coming out from Rory. Royce. Sorry. Yeah, but it's a really incredible book. It's a great read too. Royce has a really great writer's voice. Like it's very much like he's just talking to you in your living room.
Yeah, it's well written.
And but he read something like, I don't remember exactly what he said, over 100 books on the law of attraction within a year or two. And because he was just fascinated by it, but he wanted to really have an understanding of it for himself so that he could use it and not just sort of be aware of it. But actually be more conscious of it. And the reason I was attracted to the book is because of that. I have that same feeling before I got it, which is that I've watched The Secret, the video version, more times than I can count. I've listened to the audio version on CD, which is a little different, more times than I can count. I've been to see Abraham Hicks live. I've gone to, I've watched and listened to endless Abraham Hicks workshops and things like that. But I kept forgetting about the law of attraction and the art of allowing. I kept forgetting. And I would have entire days or entire weeks where I'm like something I really didn't want would show up in my life. And I'd be like complaining about it in my head. And I'm like, wait, the law of attraction is always operating. The art of allowing can always be used. Like I allowed that in. Like I had it. And it's literally like I could trace it back. Like, yeah, I remember. Absolutely. I mean, one thing, just as an example, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was driving around and I was scared all the time because I was having these near accidents all the time. I love Los Angeles and I love the people of Los Angeles, but we have some issues with driving because people, and I think a lot of it's because there's so much traffic, everybody's in a hurry. Like people cut each other off and stuff like that. And I was very scared. And I remember thinking like every day, I can't believe I did this because this is after I knew about the law of attraction. Right. But I remember thinking every day, oh my God, one of these days I'm going to get in a horrible accident.
Ow.
And then one day I did. I mean, it was like, and I felt so silly at the end of it. It was like, I literally said that for probably, I know it was several months.
Yeah.
So, I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to forget about the law of attraction or the art of allowing. I want to have an understanding of it that is so deep and rich that I
And then you attracted Royce's book. How
carry it
cool is
around.
that?
And
Yeah.
I was actually on Amazon looking for like a different law of attraction kind of book, because I'd read several of the Abraham Hicks books. I'd read
great books.
and I've read articles and all sorts of things. So, but I wanted like a different perspective, because I wanted something that was like, how can I get this in my brain that I remember, that I understand as I go throughout my day, not just like when I want some sort of big cash and prizes sort of thing, like a new car, whatever. That's easy to remember.
And you're really intellectual, and so he gets into that as well. He gets into if you're, very much of, logistics, kind of analyze, and he gets into that part of the book too. I remember you sharing with me about that, like also.
I do analyze things every now and then. Yeah, I'm a Virgo. I'm like a straight up Virgo. Like I analyze like forget it. But what that means is, yes, like sometimes if somebody can explain a concept to me intellectually, that works way better for me, just for me, than some other things.
And so he does that in the book. For those of you who are interested in the book but are like, I don't want some airy fairy, whatever. He really talks to both.
Yeah, and he's also read a lot of. He's very intelligent, and although he's not a scientist by trade or by profession, he is fascinated by all aspects of science, including quantum physics and everything like that. And he has a whole section of the book, which he says, if you're not interested, you do not have to read. Like the book explains to you very well how to use the process of scripting.
Yeah.
But he also offers all of this very meaty research on recent science from the last few years. And I was really impressed by that, because I've been hearing from like the spiritual community, the new age community, whatever you want to call it, people who are aware of the secret, aware of the law of attraction, that like, oh, quantum physics proves the law of attraction. And I've always sort of thought to myself, well, I think that there are things in quantum physics that help make a case that the law of attraction is real and provable, but I don't think quantum physics actually proves the law of attraction to be true. I think some people have taken it all the way to that, and I didn't really ever feel like that was the case. And Royce agreed with that, and he actually goes through like what he feels is scientific research from the last few years at the higher levels of physics, and in terms of what does seem to prove the law of attraction and what does not, so I was really into that, and I really like that. Yeah, because I had doubt, and I was born and raised with a lot of cynicism, a lot of doubt, a lot of like question everything, don't believe things, and so
a lot of people do. I'm glad we're discussing this, because a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't believe in the law of attraction.
Yeah,
but it's like, or they say, I'm using the law of attraction. It's like, no, we don't use it. It's always happening. It's just like we don't use gravity. It just is.
And I'm going to use the law of gravity to walk to my car.
Yeah. And so we're not using the law of attraction. We're just cooperating with the law of attraction on our behalf.
Yeah.
And the behalf of others. And so we just want to work for ourselves as opposed to against ourselves. And so like what you were saying is like, oh, I just know I'm going to get an accident. It's like, like, because, my words are powerful. What I think, that's energy, it's vibration, it's powerful. And so if I keep saying that, it's eventually going to happen. And a lot of people do that. They don't even realize that they have this power, that we have. This is what our power is with our words and our thoughts. And then they're like, but it always does. And I'm like, yeah, because you keep saying it. It's like,
yeah, there's a part of The Secret where Joe Vitale talks about, and I think this is one of the places where people get hung up or they have a problem or an issue with it, where he says, I forget exactly how he said, I've seen it so many times, but I forget exactly how he says it, but he says something like, be gentle with yourself around this, but, if you've attracted something you did not want into your life, yes, you did attract it. And he literally says in The Secret, if you had a car accident, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but yes, you did attract it. I think the thing that people get caught up in though is like, then they get afraid
Yeah, no,
of thinking negative thoughts and
yeah,
everything. And what
yeah.
I love later in The Secret, it is Michael Beckwith who says the good news is that there have been scientific studies that show that a positive thought generates a positive vibration that is 100 times more powerful than
Yeah,
a negative thought's negative vibration, you know? So
yeah, yeah.
I think that people miss a lot with that, where they think like, oh, it's just, you know, it's only my thoughts. It's only, you know, and if I have a negative thought, that's going to happen. If I have a positive thought, that's going to happen. And that's not really what's going on. It's that you're sort of emitting different vibrations throughout your day.
And there's momentum too that builds. And
Mhm.
so, yeah. And I like, for those who don't believe in the law of attraction, it's like, well, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. I love that one. As well as what you were talking about is, one who is in the vortex is more powerful than a million who are not.
Mm.
In the sense of like, love is more powerful than fear. Love is
Yeah.
greater than fear.
You know, and the
So,
other thing too, I mean, this is a side note, it's not specifically to do with scripting, but I've always thought this is that even if you don't believe in the law of attraction as a law of the universe, even if you don't believe that the practicing the art of allowing, you actually have a role in bringing things into your life, it is still, if even if you just believe in basic psychology, it seems fairly straightforward to me that if you approach each day with a happy attitude, if you believe in possibilities, statistically, even if you don't believe of any of the law of attraction stuff, just
yeah, yeah,
statistically,
yeah,
you're going to attract more happy people, more happy things, you know, better. I mean, if I go into my day just thinking, um, oh, this is going to be a terrible day at work, I know I'm going to have a lot of problems. Let's say I don't even believe in the law of attraction. If I go into my workday with that, most conversations I'm going to have with my coworkers are probably going to be negative because I'm putting that energy into it.
yeah. It's like a
Whereas
magnet.
if I just, even if I couldn't get to a good place before going to work in the morning, if I could just keep my mouth shut, I'm allowing for the possibility of like a happy coworker to come and say, "Hey, Collin, I had such a great weekend. What did you do?" You know, and that might help me feel a little bit better
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm open to it.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
that's
Exactly.
the
If I'm
weird thing. Is
open
like,
to it.
I feel like even if you don't believe in any of this stuff, it's still the right thing to do. Like it's still just from a pure psychology standpoint, your
Yeah,
life's going to be better, your
yeah.
mood's going to be better, whatever.
Which
Anyway,
one feels better? Yeah. So,
yeah,
anyways, we're getting off track again. So so okay, so you read the whole book.
I did, which I don't read, so that's amazing.
And did you start putting into practice what he was suggesting right away? What was
Yes.
your
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I even finished the book and I started his basic exercises.
which
And as soon
is
as I finished the book, I started doing um, pretty much everything he suggests. Yeah.
and why did you start scripting?
So going back to the accident thing, what I was seeing was that there are thoughts in my head that were obviously creating a vibration and I was allowing things I didn't want into my life.
So it was like that groove. I like when they think of like a neuro pathway. I've thought
Yeah,
it a million times, and it's just like I don't even,
exactly.
not even. It's just automatic. It's like a knee
But
jerk reaction.
that's exactly why I wanted to do the scripting and why I related to it so much, because and they talk about this in The Secret as well, about how we have something like 60,000 different thoughts a day and they happen like this. So you can, there's a number of things you can do. You know, you and I have worked on tapping together. I mean, there's affirmations, there's various things you can do to change your neural pathway. But one of the most powerful ones you can do is writing by hand.
Mm.
You know, having a pen in your hand, using a
Is
piece of
that
paper.
because we're very focused when we're writing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not just writing it, and we're not just, when you read an affirmation, reading affirmations or saying them out loud can be very powerful, but you're still sort of just, if you're reading an affirmation, it's sort of just like flowing over you mentally. Even if you're saying out loud, it's almost like you're saying it, you're practicing it to read it, and you may or may not actually like
take it in,
experience the meaning of it while you're saying it. And that's what you really want, is you want to internalize like the meaning of what you're saying. So, I mean, if I'm in a bad mood every morning and I just wake up and say, I am successful, I am successful, I am successful, I am successful, and I'm in a bad mood during it and at the end, that's really not going to help much, because I haven't internalized the meaning of what is success for me, and that, yes, I either am that or I'm going to be that.
And every time I say it, my head's going, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. So there's like this tug of war. Yes, I am. No, you're not. No.
Yeah. So the genius for me, the reason that the scripting is so cool for me is because, and we should probably talk about the trap in scripting also, but
go ahead.
You had a
so I think we need to talk, because people are like, what's scripting? Like, you guys are talking about scripting. What is it?
Yes. So scripting is essentially you write with a pen, or I guess you could use a pencil, but a pen and paper, what you want to attract into your life.
So and could you use, because so many of us use our phones now, how is that? Is it the same, as powerful, or?
You can. That's an individual decision. The problem that a lot of people have, this also depends on your age and generation, I think, to a certain extent, because people who are younger in the millennial and Gen Z generations, or even younger people these days, they actually sort of have, because they've been native to computer technology since they were born, they very easily ascribe meaning to what they're typing.
Okay.
So you could do it on a phone or a computer. Royce actually does like a hybrid method now, or at the end of the book, he says that the way he's adapted it is he does some of his scripting on his iPad, I think, and then some of it with pen and paper. I do it all with pen and paper because I'm Gen X. When I was born, there were no computers. We got my first computer when I was 13 years old. So I'm very tech savvy, I think. But a lot of my deepest mental processes happen best when I'm working with physical paper and ink, even though it's less efficient and, you can't store it digitally and all that kind of stuff. But so scripting is basically just in its essence, it's just writing out what you would like to attract into your life, with the attitude or philosophy that you deserve it, you believe it's possible for you to receive it. So again, the vibration that you have while you're writing it is important. But that's just in a nutshell. Now, he has a specific method, which we can talk about in a bit, but that's, if you're writing what you'd like to attract into your life with the intention of having that be a practice that helps you welcome it into your life, you're doing scripting, and there's all different ways to do it.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell people what vibration is again? Because there may be some people listening, it's their first time, they may not know vibration. What's that?
Yeah, so essentially it's the result of emotions. So what that means is, if I feel really good, if I'm feeling the emotion of happiness, that means that my body is actually sending out an electrical vibration, a wave, that is the vibration of happiness, essentially, which is a high frequency wave. If I am depressed, that means that my mind and body are actually sending out a very low vibration, meaning the waves are, they don't have as much of a crest and a fall. They're much lower. So they're measured in hertz and megahertz. I'm going to get too much into the fancy science, but so essentially, when I say you want to be in the right vibration, what I mean is you want to be in the right feeling place. You want to be in the right emotional state. So you want to be ideally in a state of happiness or gratitude or both, something like that.
Or even like ease, contentment, peace, appreciation, like any kind of positive emotion. Doesn't have to be elation, but just kind of neutral, just kind of chill. Correct. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to do it when you're feeling angry, guilty, sad, in pain, suffering, any of those emotions.
Yeah.
Ideally,
that's the time to go and take a nap, or go pet your cat, or make yourself your favorite drink, or
Celebration by Cool and the Gang, which gets me.
Or go cry and eat the pillow, whichever you need to do to take care of yourself to feel better.
Yeah.
And then come
Yeah,
back to this when you're feeling better.
we keep coming up with topics while we do another topic. But, I mean,
Which I think we're going to be doing this for a very long time. I think we have like a year's worth right now. We just started last month, so.
I know. No, but that is a whole separate topic about the relationship between thoughts.
So would you write that down? What was that one that just came up for you?
The relationship between thoughts, emotion, and vibration.
Okay. Go ahead.
So anyway, so that's what scripting is. And to go back to your first question of why do I do it? It's because it allows me a daily and weekly practice where I am practicing, basically telling spirit, the universe, higher power, whatever you want to call it, what I want in my life, and I'm practicing the art of allowing by writing it out. I'm also I'm getting my vibration into a place where I am positively vibrating around that thing, so that I'm allowing it more into my life.
Becoming a vibrational match to it.
Yes.
By putting your focus and attention on it.
Yes, which I'll go through Royce's. People should get the book, and I don't get any royalties for, Royce is not sending me any kickbacks, but they should get the book because it's amazing.
And Royce, we'd love to have you come on the podcast.
We would love to have
talk
him on the podcast
about this together.
Yes, we would, because we're what's that sort of group? I'm a groupie. I'm a Royce groupie, which the fact that I thought his name was Rory this morning was terrible.
That's okay. We make mistakes.
My groupie card got revoked, but I'll get it back. But really quick, the method that he says in the book is you take roughly 4 sheets of paper in the morning, and so you have 2 sets of 2 pages left and right. And on the first page on the left, you write what you want to manifest into your life that day, or it can be longer than that day, but a lot of what I do is like, just today, what do I want? And you write it in a very specific way. You say, I want whatever you want. On the opposite page of that, the right side, you write the same exact things, the same exact list, except you say, I intend to.
Oh, I love that word.
Yeah.
Intend. Intend is so powerful.
Yeah. So it's wants on the left, intentions on the right. And then on the following 2 pages, actually, he just says, that's sort of how I do it. He just says, it's helpful to have another page, which can be in a different book or whatever, but of beliefs that you want to strengthen in yourself that day. And that can be anything, but it's things that you want to kind of pave the roads in your mind. Like one of the ones I do a lot is he suggests you write it as, I know that. So for me, one I keep coming back to is, I know that I can be, do, or have anything I want with the help of higher power, source, spirit, the universe, So on a daily basis, in the morning, you do wants and intentions, and then beliefs. And then at night, what you do is you write a journal entry about how your day went. And his recommendation is he keeps his night journal in a different book. So it's like the morning wants and intentions beliefs book, and then it's the evening journal book. And I have developed a slightly different method, which I don't need to go into here, just because I found a way that works just slightly better for me, but it's still the same concept. And the helpfulness of that is, what you want to do after a while is read your evening journal and your morning wants and intentions side by side, because what you'll start to see is like they come true. You'll read yourself talking about something in your night journal that you actually that morning or the morning before said, I want, and I intend, the other piece is the weekly piece, which is the 10-day script, which he suggests you do on a Sunday if you can. And you basically leap ahead to 10 days from that Sunday. So it's going to be a week from the Wednesday following the day that you're in. And you basically, that has 2 parts. One is you just write super awesome stuff about how great your life is. And if you're struggling, only focus on things that are going great. So like if you're having a rough time in your relationship, but your job is going great, then write about how awesome your job is. Write about how grateful you are, how appreciative you are for that you have this job, that you get to do what you love, that you get to be paid abundantly for it.
That in and of itself is really powerful.
Well, that's all about creating the right vibration for that exercise, but also I think to carry you into the week, you know. So the first thing you do is you write a page or two of just how awesome is my life. It's ridiculous. You know, I have a beautiful home I love, and you know, my cat is the best cat in the world. I'm so grateful for my cat, you know, that sort of thing. And
Nibbles. I love you, Nibbles.
And then you transition into speaking from 10 days from now, all the amazing things that happened in your life. So you write it in the past tense, but you're actually writing from the future. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
But or not weird, challenging to get used to, I guess. But that's the thing. You write from this 10-day perspective and you say, oh my gosh, the last 10 days were amazing. Here are all the incredible things that happened. You know, at work, somebody came up to me and told me that I did an amazing job. And then I got a check in the mail from a friend who paid me back. And I forgot that I lent them money 10 years ago and it was $1,000 and it's great. Sorry, go ahead.
So let me ask you, when you first started doing this,
yes,
especially like the 10-day script.
Yeah.
When you were writing it, did you have a lot of thoughts of like, no, it's not, or this isn't happening, or no, it didn't, or how can like, what was your thought process?
Yes. But the first part of that exercise gets a lot of that out of the way. If you write a page or two, not just focusing on positives, but it's literally like you want to get high school cheerleader about the positives. Like you want to just be like, he has some examples of pages he's written like that. And it's stuff like, oh my gosh, I am the luckiest man on the planet. I live in the greatest city ever. Los Angeles is such an amazing place. It has so many amazing things to it. You know, like you really want to get seriously high school cheerleader about it. If you write for a page or two like a high school cheerleader, it's really hard for those negative thoughts to come back. Not to say they don't, but it's a really good way to remove them. I think the thing I struggle with more is, and this is what's been really insightful for me, is that usually when I get to the part where I need to write about the 10 days, I go, well, I don't know what I want. Like, I don't even know how to start. It's sort of like, wait.
You know, yeah, you bring that up. And I've had a lot of times when I do the discovery sessions with people who are interested in coaching, and I ask them what they want, sometimes they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting.
But what I find because I have to write it, you know, like it's like you got to write something.
Yeah.
And then what I find is that there are things I want.
Yeah.
But
I was way back there, huh?
Yeah.
You just got to pull them forward. Yeah.
For me, it's like deep down in my heart soul area, like not my intellectual, like, oh, what?
Yeah. But it exists. It's just like deep somewhere, just kind of like, because we smash it down like, oh, I can, or someone asks, how are you going to do that? And we don't know. So it's like, oh, it can't happen. And
yeah. And I think the thing for me that's illuminative about that process is, because what that really means is without this process, I'm subconsciously, if this makes sense, setting myself up for disappointment for the next 10 days all the time. Because what the reality is I do want a bunch of stuff in the next 10 days. They're in there and my heart and soul knows it, but I don't ask for it and I don't put myself in the vibration of it, so I don't get it. And then at the end of the 10 days, I'm bitter and resentful that my life is not what I want it to be. And what the 10-day script helps me realize is, oh, I do have very strong wants about the next 10 days, what I want. I just have to go there, which feels a little scary, because then I'm going to like actually confront, do I believe I deserve it? Do I feel like that would be possible for me? Like if you just said, like any of my lack, deprivation,
yeah, which a lot of us have, right?
I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of that. I'm not good enough.
More so with certain things than with other things. Like we all don't feel that way about everything. Some things we're just like naturally, yes, I can have that, and I have it. It's in my life. And other things, it's like, I don't believe I can have. That's not for me, even though I want it. You know, but I would love for you to talk from. Do you remember like when you first got the book and you started doing it? What was that like for you?
I was really excited because I felt like it was really something that worked well for me. Like we talked about in the beginning, like I'm very intellectual.
Yeah.
I wanted a more conscious, methodical process that could help me remember the law of attraction, art of allowing. So I was really excited. The thing that was really strange about it, oh, because I got to mention this because this, I'll answer your question, but there's like a hack that he came up with. And it's one of the most genius things I've discovered about the law of attraction, which is in his wants and intentions every day, he always puts at least one thing that he absolutely knows he's going to get.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for me, it's my my delicious decaf coffee, iced coffee. And I don't do it every day, but a lot of days I do. And I just say, I want to drink some delicious decaf iced coffee today. And I intend to drink some, delicious decaf iced coffee today. And you put something that you know is going to happen, that has basically 100% chance of happening, next to things that you might have some doubt or hesitation or resistance around. Okay. And what your brain just slowly starts to do is it starts to equate the iced coffee with the new car you want, or the iced coffee with a great time with a friend that maybe you're having a problem with, or something like that. Like, so it starts to bring you,
or promotion at work or whatever
right.
It may be.
It starts to bring you these things even faster, because your brain, which is really, the brain is the one that actually generates the signal, the vibration. Your brain starts going, oh, these are things that we get. Instead, these are things we want or we're hoping we get. It starts to be like, oh, I got the iced coffee, and then I got the other thing too. So these are things I get.
That's nice.
And so your brain goes to the page every morning and goes, what things will I get, instead of what things do I want to get, And that's really when you're super confident the thing is coming, like you don't have any fear about it. You're just like, and I don't know if it's The Secret, but somebody has that metaphor that's always been powerful for me, of like, when I order a book on Amazon, I don't worry for the 48 hours.
Oh yeah, it's about the ordering. Like when you go up,
is it gonna come?
Yeah.
Like
when you order something. Yeah.
It's Amazon.
Yeah.
And so if you can get yourself to that level, that's the best way to attract that thing in the fastest. And so that's what starts to happen with that hack. Your brain starts to go, oh, okay, these are things I get. And you're in that confidence instead of whatever. But that was the reason I mentioned that, is because one of the things that freaked me out when I first started doing it was, and this is still, and it's been true the entire time. And this, if there was ever a claim in a book that has been proven by a reader, it's Royce's claim that you will get almost everything you write, and me doing that. Because Virgo, I have a little as you do, if you're a Virgo, as you do, Excel is like who we are. And I for a long time, I still have it, and I haven't updated it in a while, but I was tracking, like, okay, here's the things I actually asked for in the morning. How many of them have I received by now? And not just that day. Some.
I remember you sending me text messages about that and giving me the whole lowdown.
It's holding steady. It's holding steady at 97%.
Awesome.
I get 97% everything I write about.
Wow.
And the thing I mentioned to you too about the 3% that I haven't received yet, because I still may get those things, but the 3% that I haven't received are things I have massive resistance around, or are things I started to realize this a few days ago. Some of the things I don't actually want them. They're things that I, like my ego or some old tape from my past says that I should have them.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's great.
And I actually don't want them. And I've actually gone back and crossed out some things that I never got.
That's awesome.
I don't know why I wrote that. I don't want that.
Yeah. Do I really want that? I don't. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, it's interesting that you talked about the belief thing, because it reminded me of when, who was it? Zach Brown Band. When I was really into them a few years ago, and I had looked at the beginning of the year to see if they were coming to San Diego and when, and, get set in my mind, I was going to buy tickets. And I looked at their list and they weren't coming to San Diego. And I was like, what? No. Cause I was so ready to see them. And it was a few months later, and I was at, 31 Flavors, having my scoop of ice cream and reading one of my Abraham Law of Attraction, the Vortex book. And they're playing music inside the Baskin Robbins. And all of a sudden the DJ comes on the radio and he's like, yeah, and next hour we're going to give away Zach Brown tickets. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute, this isn't even a country station, one. And two, he's coming to town. And I was like, oh my God. And so I immediately was like, put their number in my phone and got in the car, kept playing it. And I'm going, I'm going to go into Zach Brown. And I come home and I tell Lou, well, they're giving away tickets. I didn't know they were coming. I'm going to win tickets. He goes, you are? You're going to win tickets? I'm like, yeah. There was like no doubt in my mind. Like I was going to win those tickets. I didn't know they were coming. They're coming. I'm getting those tickets. And so that's when we still had our landline as well. And he was out in the yard work. I started helping. I had the radio blasted. I had my cell phone and everything's ready. And then she's like, be the car. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh my God. Cause she starts picking up and she says, hi. And I'm like, cause usually if you're not the winner, they'll be like, call 7, call back. And, but she starts talking to me and I lose my shit. And Lou's looking at me like this. He couldn't believe I had just won the tickets because I had no doubt, like 100% belief. So that experience showed me how powerful belief is.
Yeah.
And so when you said belief, it's like, think about it. Anybody we know who is just like, is living something, they're like, yeah, I just believe that I should have this, or I believe that's who I am, or what have you. Like belief is so powerful.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a great story, and it exemplifies that very well, I think. And yeah, so that's why scripting works for me. And
so you've been doing it how long now?
Not sure. A long time. I mean, I'm doing it through most of the COVID era, I think. So since March-ish. So, and I've gotten, I mean, it's interesting because there's a lot of things in there that they're like within my power to do, it's sort of like, I want to have I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but something I've been wanting for a long time, but it's like literally me taking the action to do it, and I've been in resistance or whatever, and I just haven't done that thing. And then I will script about it for a day or two and just say, I want to do this and I intend to do this. And then it ends up happening. And it always, and the strange thing about that to me is it always feels like when it happens, it doesn't look like the law of attraction or the scripting to me. It looks like, oh, Wednesday I decided to do this thing.
Yeah.
And Monday I just decided not to. But it's like, well, you told yourself you were going to do it for like 6 months in a row and you never did. And after scripting for 2 days, suddenly you had the motivation. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty incredible. I think what I want to do is with it though, is because I still ask for pretty small things. I've asked for a few like kind of big cash and prizes things, but I usually ask for just like something I would like to do or something in my day that I want to go well. And I would like to practice asking for more, not out of greed or anything like that, but just like, I think there are things financially, et cetera, that I deserve and I can totally have in my life, but I have a bigger issue I have more resistance and hesitancy around them because I feel like, oh, those are just harder, which to the universe, everything, a penny and $1 million is the same thing.
And I think about like, same thing. Like, oh, well, that, like the ticket's so easy, but yet this car, no way, or a, house or whatever. But then when I pause and think about like, okay, wait a minute, I am sitting in this human body. There's like a whole city within my body. Like my blood's pumping, like higher power did all this for me. I don't have to do anything but take good care of it every day. And like, you think Steph, like you can't get this, or like you think the universe can't give you X, Y, and Z, but yet look what the gift that you've been given that we don't even think about. Like
that's
wrap your head around that one.
Yeah, I say that a lot to other people. It's like, oh, the universe or higher power or source or spirit or whatever, however you think about it, created the entire universe with all the galaxies and all the stars and all the galaxies, revolving around each other in a cool way, and all within the galaxies, all the solar systems revolving or arranging themselves in this cool way. And then within the solar system, the planets are orbiting around the sun, the star in the middle, at the right way. And then in our solar system, the Earth is, space just close enough to the sun and just far away enough from the sun that we, have perfect balance that creates life and all this other stuff. And the moon is perfectly positioned so that it gives us this cool thing, and all, and it created the oceans and the fish and all the animals and people and all this thing. But yeah, you want $50? Like, that's beyond the power. Or like, you want a new job at your company? Like, no, I don't see how,
Or the love of your life with all the characteristics that you want and that you're just like passionately in love. And then the other thing is, I think that, you said the word greed, and it's like, so many of us have that, like, oh, if I have this, then I'm taking away from someone else. And it's like, no, it's not that at all. It's like, there is enough for everyone to have everything that they want. Like when we ask, it is given. And I love that the whole cooperative components, like everything that will come to me it's all coming because it wants to. And it's like, if I get what I want, you can still have what you want. If I get what I want, I'm not taking away from anyone else. It's like, there's an abundance of everything. And I think that's where that whole word greed, or don't ask for too much, or you can't have it all of that is like, those are old paradigms. It's not the reality of who we are and what exists and what is. So it's like, you want something, you can have it. There's a desire within us, I can have it. We can have it. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks for sharing scripting.
Thank you for your question.
Again.
Yeah, Scripting the Life You Want, Manifest Your Dreams with Just Pen and Paper by Royce Christyn. It's an amazing book.
Thanks, Royce, for writing that.
We will try to get him on. We'll try to get him on at some point.
Well, distract him.
We'll script it. I'll script it.
Yeah, there you go. I'll allow it. You script it, and we'll allow it together.
Excellent.
Hence the co-creation station. Holla.
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you feel called to, please like us or subscribe to us, or both. It helps us a lot, and we're very grateful to you for doing so. If people want to find you, Stephanie, how can they reach you?
www.powerinjoy, powerinjoy.com.
And you can always reach me at my website, collinworster.com, which is COLLINWORSTER.com. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and we will see you again on the next episode of Co-Creation Station.
Bye,
everybody.